Good afternoon, Greg.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, love.
How are you?
Good, how you doing? Good. Like
Good.
this. Mwah.
Had a
Good.
crazy morning.
Did you?
Another
What'd you
crazy
do?
morning. Wedding.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The gals are
That's right.
in bridezilla mode
Are they?
and OCD mode.
Are they?
Yes. Oh, from Maryland to New York. I got
Better you than
a
me.
3-page 18 list.
A to-do list or?
No, it's not a to-do list. It's where I'm going and who's picking me up and what I'm
Right.
doing. All I have to do is read the list
Oh, you have
when
to
I
just
get
read
to
the list.
Maryland.
Okay. I like
Strangers
that.
are picking me up at the hotel. Breakfast here, dinner here, hair here.
All right. They're
So
taking
it's
care of
kinda
everything.
nice,
Well, if it
but-
goes-
Taking care of
goes
everything.
well, it goes well.
Can't go wrong
Well,
with that.
no, it's kind of nice, but I was overwhelmed. I said, I can't even read this thing. There's too many lines. So I have to study
No,
it
but
tomorrow.
they're gonna take care of everything for you, so
Yeah,
it's not gonna
yeah.
be bad.
So anyway, it was a crazy morning, and other than that, the weather's good. It was supposed to have a storm yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have it. I went to Port Jeff, no storm. I took the little kids, Jerry's grandchildren, went
Right.
out. We had fun, and the kids said on the way out, Aunt Tina, when are you coming back? And we're having another party. So we had a
Really?
good time. Yeah, we did. We did. So
Okay,
we had a
that's
good
good,
day
that's good.
yesterday. And you? What'd you do?
You know what? Yesterday we had a. It was like the first time open mic storytelling where people came and they went on stage and they brought their friends and they just started playing and doing all original music and it was great. I think there were like
Wow.
60 people there.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I'm
On
telling
a
you, it was crazy.
Wednesday?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, I can't wait.
It was
I'll have to
crazy.
come
So
on
yeah,
one.
so I turned around and I said we're definitely gonna do it more often. That's for sure.
Good. I'm
You know?
glad. I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah. So, but other than that, that's it.
Good.
But I know we have some great guests. Oh wait, before we start, today is what is today here? Today is National Earth Day.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
big day.
everybody knew that except
Yeah,
me,
it's
of
pretty
course.
popular.
Yes.
Everybody knew that but me.
Yeah.
And we also have National Jelly Bean Day, which I like that.
Which I should have brought some, but I was running late, as you knew when I got here.
You're always running late.
10 minutes. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not always late. Today I had a lot
No
going
comment.
on.
No comment.
Anyway, so there were no jelly beans today,
Oh,
but
I wish I knew that. I would have brought some.
next time. Next time. So we have some really interesting people today. We have this gentleman called Umi
Yes.
Tariq.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Tariq.
Tariq.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You're a sports analyst. You're a YouTube blogger.
yes.
You
YouTube.
do all
He does
kinds of
everything.
things.
Yeah.
This one.
So we're going to be talking with you.
Yeah.
And then we have this very nice, well-dressed, handsome man, Russ
Here we go
Vitale.
again. There we go.
That's a big thing with the show.
No, that's a big
yeah.
thing with you. Not with the show. It's with you.
And
There's a big
Russ
difference.
is very involved in high school seniors, college admissions, all kinds of great things with the kids today that are going to be, doing well on their SATs and all kinds of coaching and things like that. He came all the way from New Jersey, so
I
we're
did.
thrilled.
I did. It was worth it.
New
It's already been.
Jersey.
It's already been worth
Oh, look at this.
New
He's
Jersey's,
good. He's good. You want the job here.
New Jersey's
You
in the
want the
house.
job here. Oh.
And then I go way back with this lovely Barbara Spinelli, who I met many years ago.
Not that far back.
Well, we did some consulting in the same company, Right Management, at one time. I was at ARS Financial Planning, and you were in Right, which is a similar thing, and we used to do things together. And you were at the Freeport Memorial Library, right?
Yes, the business center.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to everybody, and we're very happy to have you. And this is our home.
Welcome, welcome,
Great.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, now it's Umir.
You go.
Umi-
You going Umi
I
or
call
you?
you Umi. I like Umi. I like Umi. I got to tell you, I met Umi at an event here. Now, I'm 6'4".
That's a picture.
How tall are you?
3'9".
3'9". You didn't even cheat. You didn't say like 4 foot.
No,
No.
3'9".
So listen, when I first saw him, and then you had a jersey on.
He had a Steph Curry jersey on, a Warrior jersey. No,
Yeah, no.
I had a Clippers jersey.
You had
on.
a Clippers jersey on,
Clippers
right?
jersey on.
And I turned around, and when I was talking to him, I was just fascinated because you know why? I know growing up, I had a lot of friends that were. See, now the proper is little people.
Yeah,
Right.
got people with achondroplasia.
What is
What-
it?
what
They
is-
got what?
Achondroplasia.
Achondroplasia?
Yes.
That's it, like
That's
a
the new thing?
thing?
That's
you-
that's a term. That's when
Of-
when you're born, they tell you that your son has achondroplasia, which meaning that he's not gonna be going at a normal pace.
Okay, so you're going to be like everything's going to grow less,
Yeah,
not
I'm
so
gonna,
fast.
Yes, I'm gonna be at this height for the rest of my life.
The height.
Yes.
Okay, so you're always going to be. What'd you say? 3.
3'9".
So you should play that number all the time.
Yeah.
39.
Yeah, I
should
should,
play
I
that
should
number.
actually.
You should play that number.
That works.
I'm going to play it tonight.
Be careful, she'll be playing with you. Anyway, yeah. So I was always wondering, what is it like? I mean, trying to live, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. And I remember asking you, and I was afraid to ask you, but all you could say is no. And he was like, I would love to come on and let everybody know.
Yeah.
So
It's a life of bittersweetness. It's bittersweet because there are a lot of ups and there's some downs. And like, I learned to live with the ups. You gotta live with the ups. You can't
That's
look at
great.
the downs.
Positivity.
Yep. And luckily, you gotta look at your support system. A lot of people they contemplate it, they go in with depression. They don't have the people to support them.
Right.
Luckily, my support group, I've got a great family, great second family, great group of guys, and the guys I work on my YouTube project with that support me to push myself further.
That's great.
Yep. Yep.
You're a very positive guy.
Thank you. Yes.
So what as an income, do you have an income? Do you have a job? Or
No. As of now, I'm just working on my sports channels to bring them awareness to them. To my
sports channels.
yeah, Momentum Sports Debates.
really,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
terrific.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
So where is it? How does people watch your channel?
So what we do is we do a Zoom meeting because we have one of my good friends. He's in Canada, so we do a Zoom meeting at nighttime where we all sit down and do a breakdown of what happened during the week, and then I usually post it the next day, and then we post some clips for the audience to see it on the Instagram account. And
Very
you can see it.
nice.
Yes.
Is it like a first take kind of thing?
Yes. First thing like Stephen A.
Yeah,
Smith. Yeah.
that's great. That's
You
good.
get
That is
crazy on it?
terrific.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Somehow I could see you doing flips or I don't know, some kind of jumping
You're
jacks.
gonna get
or
on the
something.
table and start getting
Do
crazy.
you
I know you are.
do
I
you
feel
do
it.
things like that, like exercise kind of crazy
Nah,
things?
nah.
He's like,
Jump
no.
off a car?
No.
So you talk about the draft a lot right now?
Yeah, we're doing draft. We just did a draft video last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Like a
with
mock
one of my
draft?
guys. Yeah, mock draft.
Oh, that's cool.
The top 5 picks. So we had all the other analysts come on, and they talked about who you think number 1, who you think number 2, and then we all compared. Then we had a little argument,
That's awesome.
and it was fun.
That's
yeah.
great.
That's good. Now, do you do horses too, or no?
No,
just
I
sports?
don't know.
She wants you to pick her a winner.
There's no 2 ride horses, all right?
Was it
You're like-
hard for you during COVID and the pandemic where sports were so lean?
It was hard, but that was when we were started preparing. Like I was talking about this idea with my friends for years, but I never had a group of guys to do this with. So I finally found a group of guys with the fantasy league because we finally said, let's talk about it because we were always arguing in our Instagram DMs with each other. We were all saying blah, 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 yelling at each other in Instagram. So I said, why don't we bring it to the people? So that's when I decided to bring it to the people. Because I also have another YouTube channel, Life for Someone Under 4 Feet, where I talk about the challenges, where I talk about how the shortest guy on my football team to my viewers, to encourage the people that don't have someone to look up to. Because you don't see a lot of famous people with achondroplasia.
Right.
So
right.
I want to be somebody that
Right.
the little kids can look forward to.
Right.
to
Or
see-
they make them into a character,
Yeah.
a caricature,
Yeah, 100%.
which is not the way you
Yes.
want to project. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
interesting.
great.
There are
Yeah.
so many businesses and people that have created new ventures during
Yeah.
COVID. I see it now so much.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to
Great.
tell me about growing up. All right, tell me about the girls. Come on.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Look, I'm going to tell you right now. Why? Because a friend of mine, he was. I still can't use. First of all, I can't even pronounce what you just said. I condemned him.
Achondroplasia.
Okay.
Achondroplasia.
Look, I'm saying a condom man.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, a
No, think of- no, no, I'm trying to pronounce it, breaking it down.
Listen,
You gotta
family
put the
show.
word-
This is a
Yeah, but
family
this is also
thing,
we
you know?
we kid around a lot.
Because I always turn around because a friend of mine that had it, all the girls
loved
loved
him.
him because he's like, oh, he's so cute.
Look at him. He's
And I'm
laughing like,
man,
yeah, they
all
love
the
me.
girls, and I was like, you know what?
He's a chick magnet.
I'm telling you, he is. That's why I said to him, I want him to hang out with me. So
That's
think about it, he and I walking into a club.
You'd have a
oh
lot
my
of girls
God.
around you.
Right. It's
You
like
kidding me?
it's like Danny DeVito.
Right,
and
right, right. The
Schwarzenegger,
twins, yeah,
right?
twins, yeah.
So you
So
do
growing
have
up-
a lot of girls come around you.
Look at him.
My
Look
mom's
at him.
watching this
My
show. So I
mom's-
can answer that question. Yeah, but
One
yeah.
or two.
Wait, that's it. So what school did you go to?
I went to Sewanaka High School
Okay.
and played football over there for 2 years. And I believe my coach says this, that I was the shortest player that he ever had. That he
Aw.
came out.
Right.
Yeah, I had one of my best friends, Peter. His father, I remember when I was training with him, his father told me, if you quit the team, you're banned from my house. And that was because that's my second house. Everybody knows if I'm not home, I'm over there. So that was the second push to give me because my first 3 weeks were hell. I hated it.
Yeah.
because it was the first time I was doing something. My body. It was the first time actually training, taking hits. I remember one time we were doing a drill with the bag. A guy hit me. I flew on the ground. I thought I couldn't feel my legs. yeah. yeah.
So you really enjoyed your years growing
Yes,
up.
yes,
You
I did.
didn't really block you from doing great
No,
things.
no, 100%. I enjoyed everything I did. I never believed in like I can't do it.
That's
I
very
can't do it.
good.
And there were plenty of times when people would tell me, "Don't do this, don't do that. You can't do it. What's gonna happen?" Like I remember when I was a senior in my high school, I did a prom proposal.
A what?
Prom proposal. So I want to do something crazy because nobody's prom proposed yet. So I said, let me go to a basketball game, halftime basketball game. I knew it was gonna be packed. So I shared the idea with my athletic director. He's panicking. He's like, "What if she says no? What if she says no? What if she says no?" The whole school is on panic mode because they found out my idea. They're like, "What if she says no?" I'm like, "She says no. That's okay. At least I had the guts to do something like that."
Absolutely, that's great.
Yeah. So yeah.
So how'd it turn out?
And she said yes.
Whoa!
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You never forgot it either,
No, I
right?
never
And
forgot
they
it.
never forgot you.
Yeah, they never forgot me.
Well, you sound like you're very successful. You do some really
That's
great
it.
things.
Thank you.
Very
thank you.
positive, you know. That's what it is. It's like you turn around, you meet people, and he does have a good aura. I mean, you could sense a good aura
Oh,
about him, you know,
definitely.
the energy around him. So even when he was walking around here, you thought he was like the owner, really, because he was walking like I own this place,
Yeah.
you know. but
That is great.
but
Do you
that's really
coach?
it's a great thing. Yeah.
I
Do you
wanted
coach
to,
kids?
I
or-
want to get involved in coaching, but then COVID hit.
Yeah,
And
maybe
it-
in the suit, maybe in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, hopefully once COVID goes down, I want to get into coaching with my coach. I talked to him, coaching with him, but COVID came in, it like put everything
Yeah,
back.
well, everybody's at rest
Yeah,
now, but
so-
it's coming back.
Yes, hopefully it comes back soon. I'm really,
Well, that's terrific, really.
Yeah, what size shoulders you have?
what's up?
What size shoulders you have? I'm like,
I
damn.
don't know. I wore, I think extra large, large shoulder pads,
Right.
but those things were crazy. Okay, like when I said my jersey used to be dangling
the
on the
floor.
ground. And my coach
You
was
had
like,
to
your whole
have
jersey's
it
in
cut,
there.
trimmed.
Yeah,
Well, I think
Yeah.
you're a pleasure
you
to talk
kidding me?
to.
thank you.
We're going to get back to you, but
Oh,
you're
thank
really quite amazing
Thank you.
young man.
She would say some things right now, but she can't.
Quite
They run
amazing
a
young
show.
man.
Well, you just said your parents were watching.
Yeah, your parents are watching.
Yeah.
Tell Abba sorry. All right. Let's get on to Mr. Russ. This
Russ
Hi.
Vitale,
I like
college
this.
easy.
Well,
college making complicated easy. I like that. I like that.
And that is quite a chore.
it can be.
To
It
no,
can
and
be.
you're, like, I am not good with the college applications. I'll tell you that right now. I'm good with a lot of things, but that I'm not. So, I consider myself intelligent, but I think
She's more intelligent because you know why? And what makes her super intelligent? Because she has everybody else doing it for her.
Yeah, well,
And that's the
that-
best. Listen
that
to me.
is, right.
And that's not a joke.
Delegation
though,
is
because
like no joke,
delegation.
that's right.
I am telling you, she could delegate.
everything.
Forget it. I don't want to go there. But
No,
she
but I
delegates
mean-
even that.
This is something that everybody needs. The poor, the old, the schools, the
absolutely.
young. And even when you're older, you need it because if you want to go back to school.
Yeah, I mean, predominantly I work with high school families, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and nationwide too. Although I grew up in Long Island and I live in New Jersey, so I have a lot of tri-state area clients. But for the last 4 or 5 years, I've expanded out nationally, and I'm a big believer that you don't need to overcomplicate the process. Everybody wants, when you're a parent, you want what's best for your child, right? But there's a lot of definitions and
Right.
around best, right? So I try to just kind of approach it with some levity, keeping things in balance, providing some peace of mind, and letting know, like, it doesn't sound like it because it's an academic thing mostly, but it is a lot of mindset as well, to make sure that we keep everybody, calm and make sure that they understand no matter what they achieve, no matter where they go, they're going to be great if they make the most of it while they get there.
So how did you get into the college planning business?
Yeah, I didn't even know this existed, 17 years ago, I never used one. I grew up here in Long Island. I applied to like 4 schools and I didn't go to see any of them and all that stuff, But I left AT&T after 13 years. I took a year off to when my daughter was born and spent time with her, which was awesome. But during that time, I was doing research, and I realized that I really wanted to work and do something to definitely help people, but also hopefully help kids. That's what I
Right,
wanted
that's
to do.
a good point.
And so I did research, and long story short is a bunch of people were asking me, I heard you wanted to be the college guy, and that's kind of stuck with me after, it's the college guy, right? So I said, yeah, and people were asking me questions, and I just started doing research to see what help was out there. And it just kind of opened. I had some mentors for sure in the beginning
Oh,
because the business,
always do.
the
right.
business, it sounds easy. Like some people, think they can do this, and you can, but it takes a lot to know the schools, to understand the selectivity of the schools, and then also hopefully, I'm a big believer in happy child is a successful child no matter where they go. And if you to do that, I believe you have to match the right schools from an academic, social, and a financial perspective.
You're right.
Newsflash, could be really expensive.
Yeah, I like that word, happy.
Yeah,
Definitely
well,
know that.
Happy
right.
child, successful
Successful
child.
child,
It's like
that's it.
happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, I'm
I mean,
serious.
exactly.
You're
right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Good answer.
Exactly. Sorry.
So what motivated you to write the book? What was
Well-
the one thing?
Well, there's a couple things actually. I'll just give you two. One was that all of my clients, my friends, were like, "Wow, you tell some really hysterical stories and stuff." And there's a couple in there, but I'm going to write another book that covers
course.
those. Not maybe college related, but then the other thing was, again, I just felt that too many people, and I have a daughter who's a high school senior right now, so I just helped her through the process.
I saw
which
the
is-
ad. I
Yeah,
wanted to
so
talk about that
It was a
too.
totally different experience, but it was amazing. It was really great, and it better have been right for what I do. But
Yeah,
but
exactly.
but I wanted to making the complicated easy is said that way on purpose because I just think again I think too many people just they get so overwhelmed by it they leave it for the last minute.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to know that you can approach this in a more healthy way and with a goal of becoming what I call an educated college consumer. So because the more the more you can hopefully ask the right questions and make sure, again, you get the right matches. So it was a fun process. And actually, I was surprised. It actually came out pretty quickly.
It's pretty good. Now, I know you do a lot of speaking.
I do.
And I only have, at colleges, only spoke at 3 colleges so far.
Okay.
It's very hard to get a speaking gig at a college.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what are all the nationally kind of
Yeah, so I
things
mean,
that you speak at?
I get approached by a lot of different. So first off, I do a lot of things, and starting to do a little bit more. I do a lot of things online, with different things, Facebook Lives and things like for
Yes,
different
right.
organizations. I work with a lot of financial firms because college is obviously one of the biggest investments that people need to make in their lives, and they want to be smart about it. So I come in and talk to them about things. I do, athletic recruiting too. So a lot of times
That's
I'll
a
talk to
big thing,
sports
right?
clubs and things like
Yeah.
that about
Right.
well the realities of it. Not a downer in any way, shape, or
Right.
form, but a lot of people think because they're a superstar at 8th grade that they're going to play in the NFL, and
See,
it
that
doesn't
doesn't
always
happen.
happen.
Right, that doesn't
Well,
happen. That's
he's
right.
an expert in that.
Yeah,
His
so I've
son
been
was
doing
in
it nationally. I get, and I'm very fortunate, and I don't do them all for pay either. I do free workshops
Yeah,
and
you do
seminars.
some,
I
you
do-
know,
if it's helping
pro
people and I
bono,
can and I have time to fit into my schedule, I'm happy to. And it's great exposure too, obviously.
Oh, definitely. You never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah, and again,
know.
I just find what's most satisfying to me, and that's why I left corporate America was because I wanted to do something that had meaning, and
Yeah.
I just and I can honestly say that for 17 years, I really.
Like
and
your
don't get me
job.
wrong, like I put in a lot of hours and I do a lot of stuff, but I never feel like I'm really working.
Well,
I
that's
really
because
love
you
it.
like
Right.
I
what
love
you
it.
do.
I
When
love what I
right.
do.
When you
I
love
it.
what you
See,
do.
but that's a wonderful thing when somebody really loves what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you all know.
Because
Tony.
because when you really think about it, Cliff, do you love what you do? Good
Yeah,
answer,
he's
sir.
smiling.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. No, but you know what? A lot of people, just in general, you're doing the same repetitious thing every day,
Right.
and there's no enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
So
What's
when
the
you ask
point?
somebody, they're like, "All right, well, listen, it's a paycheck,"
Yep.
or
Yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
just saw on YouTube they have a lot of graduation speeches, and
Yes.
I just saw one by I think it was Matthew McConaughey, another one by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think it was Schwarzenegger that actually said they did a survey, and 72% of Americans are unhappy.
unhappy.
Well, it's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
true.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just thinking this on the ride here. I went to a Tony Robbins Business Mastery event.
Oh, yeah, I love
And
Tony
I had
Robbins.
a day to myself, and I was sitting on a bench on the beach. Me, the really white pale guy, on a bench, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking it's Monday, and I just don't know why, but I was like, I love Mondays. Like when I was in corporate America, like Sunday, like 3 o'clock, that
Yeah,
like, oh my God,
exactly.
like ruin your rest of your day. But every day is like Friday to me.
No, it's
I
true.
do.
That's
I
great.
and I hope that comes through with my talking, my
Oh,
speaking, and working with my
definitely.
students because I love. And I always tell them like, this process is actually supposed to be fun, and I like to have fun. And they look at me like I have 3 heads.
See, he
like,
likes to have fun, Greg.
So, but it's awesome.
All
It's
right,
great.
all right. Here we go. See? You can't take her anywhere. Tony, I'm not leaving her alone with you. Okay?
So now, what about the high school kids? I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's been
impact
challenging.
that's happening with this pandemic.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Well, so I think there's, I like to look at it a little differently. And please don't get me wrong. Like, it's been incredibly challenging. And I know from an academic standpoint, and all that stuff, from a socialization standpoint. So I'm not trying to sugarcoat it at all. But I actually try to look at it a little bit more positive way, kind of the same mindset aspect, right? I'm not being delusional, but really just to focus on two things. To the point of what we were talking about before, I think the creativity has really increased tremendously
Right.
of students to find ways to still be involved and to do things and take initiatives. And again, we're not talking about groundbreaking stuff. It doesn't have to be. It's just something to help somebody else. So I've really found that a lot of students have really gotten very creative to do those
Which
kind
is
of things.
nice to hear
I mean,
because
I think it's great. From a college planning standpoint and preparation standpoint, a lot of people, I think, for 16 years now, they kind of delay thinking about the colleges until they get on campus because they think it's so important to see the school. And I'm not saying it's not, but I actually think as a result of the pandemic that people are actually needing to do less superficial and more real research on the schools and making sure that the colleges match their criteria.
right.
And to that point, I really think that it's improved the process a lot
Right.
because I think people are less enamored with, glitzy, whatever. Oh my God, it was a beautiful campus. And by the way, that's important,
Right.
but that shouldn't be the only way you're driving and you're making your decisions.
So as far as the families that you work with, what is it like when, like, let's say I came to you and I have
Yep.
nothing about admissions
Yep.
and college admissions.
Yep.
So what do you do for families that helps them get through it? Because
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there like me,
Yeah.
and then there's also the real educated ones that know how to do it. Right?
Yep, yep.
Well,
Like Greg.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot that we do. I mean, I like I said, I do everything from athletic recruiting to essays to interviews to supplemental essays, applications. I have a proprietary system I use so people can identify schools that are reach, match, safety, and I overlay all the different things of honors and early action, early decision, all those types of things. They're major. I also do financial aid counseling to make sure that, the thing that I really want to make sure people avoid, and it's all over Facebook posts and Instagram posts, and especially this time of year, is, oh my gosh, my child got into their dream school and we can't afford it.
Right.
And there's no reason to go through the process that way. And by the way, just so you know, and a little cheesy plug, but my services are ridiculously inexpensive.
Way to go.
No, I mean, because I created something.
You really love. You
well,
really
I
really
do.
must love
I
your
do.
job.
I created something 4 years ago called the concierge service, which is actually a group training service, which includes training every month and office hours. That's only $65 a month. And because I
That's
wanted people to be able
terrific.
to get the help they need.
That's like a cup of Starbucks coffee a day.
That's lunch.
That's a nice lunch for you.
That's what I was gonna say.
Not my lunch, but maybe your lunch.
I'm just kidding. It's really dinner.
No, but I think
Let me ask you. With,
Yeah,
with all
sure.
the scandal, I remember there was a while back ago. We had I forgot the actress.
Yeah,
that-
Yep.
I know who
Yep.
you're talking about. I forgot her
Now
name.
I got to tell you, it is your kid. You want your kid to go.
Well, that was a little
Listen,
over
I'm
the top.
sorry, but I would make a donation or whatever it is. I mean, you just want your kids to go to the best school if possible.
Yeah.
I mean, is it fair that some people have the money, some people don't, some people have to work harder, and they're. I mean, you have kids that live, eat, sleep, books
Yes.
just to get into a good school.
Well, to try to get it.
to try,
Right, right.
just to try, and then you have other people where the kid's a C.
Yep.
Somehow you end up getting into Yale. I have a friend. There's no way he should ever went to Yale, but he had money and.
Yeah,
went
I
to
mean,
Yale.
I
And
yeah.
mean, I don't think that's fair. But what do you think about that?
Well, I think, the scandal itself,
the scandal itself I'm talking about.
was absolutely, a disgrace.
Right.
It really was, and it did put a bad, taste a
Yeah,
little bit,
yeah.
definitely in my mouth, but also
Right.
on the industry.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's why I also wanted to address the financial aspect of those things, in working with somebody like me. And again, there's other people I'm sure that do some things similar too, but you don't have to be spending tens of thousands of dollars to get the help that you need. It's just
That's really
completely
horrific.
unnecessary. And I think
Right.
that was a flat out misrepresentation of their student. I mean, the student didn't even play the sport. I mean, there was like all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff there. Obviously, I believe in full disclosure, and I also think, I always say, rejection is God's protection. Sometimes when you don't get what you think you wanted, it's actually the best thing that ever
Yeah.
happens.
Well,
It is,
that's
it is,
true.
yeah,
It could
it
be a
is,
negative
yeah.
at one point, and then the negative turns
So we
into a
prepare
positive.
for the best, and I have kids that go to all the Ivies and
Right.
sub-Ivies and all that, but I also have the C students that are awesome, amazing kids that we find schools for them that are amazing for them and perfect for them, and they're superstars. Like,
You know,
so-
I get I'm the lieutenant governor for Kiwanis, and what we did was in Franklin Square, all the kids, and you know that, all the bright kids, they get all the scholarships. Yeah, most.
Right.
Okay. Well, we wanted to do something different, where the kid that tries really, really hard, and he has a 75 or 80 average,
Yep.
and he should be entitled
Absolutely
you know what I mean? You forget about that. I turned around. I was so excited when my oldest child was getting an award, academic award. All of a sudden, they said the kids, and they rattled off the kid's name with 95 average. All of a sudden, it was my son. I'm like, so excited. It must have been like half of the school stood up. All of a sudden, they had the kid at 100 average. So many people stood up, right? Meaning they got that award.
Yeah.
There was kids that had 102 average, 103, and there was this one kid that had 106 average.
yeah.
Unreal.
When you
Yeah,
said hi to
that's
him, he couldn't even speak.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, he was just
Well-
a brainiac. We're talking
Yep.
100. How did you get 106 average?
Well, again, so that's something too that
106.
it's to me, I like challenged but not overwhelmed.
Right.
Right, and you have to be able to socialize too, and that's why I said academic, social, and financial match, right? And that's where the happy child is a successful child. Because if a child's all books, at some point they're going to feel like they're missing out.
Sure.
At some point,
Some kids,
Well,
some kids
there's-
don't even realize
I
that.
get
you know
well.
that?
Well, that's true. And then you wake up when you're 30 years old and you say, "I wish I
That's
did
it.
differently."
I
right?
was just
And
gonna
we know
say
that.
that.
So
I
we know
work
that.
what advice-
with 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds who are in careers who say, how did I get here?
Right.
You know,
Yes.
and and so you have to wind the clock back. Like I tell young people, you know, you don't want to be able to look back. You can pivot and change and shift
Right.
and build on, but it's that same thing. And these are medical doctors,
Right.
CFOs who say, I'm miserable. I don't want to. I have that anxiety on a Sunday.
That's how I was at 18
And if
too.
you
That's why I
start,
left.
most of us, we learn by subtraction, not addition, what we don't like, right?
Well,
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
true.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So
And that's how I talk to kids about
pat-
doing a college visit too. I said, "Don't worry if you don't like it, because you learn by what you don't like
Yeah.
just as much
Yeah.
as by what you do. It's not as much fun, maybe, but you
No.
still learn from it."
But I like working with with
You
young
know,
people.
what
to
what
help them
advice do you
that.
give families that are going through this? Or,
I think, first off, you don't need to go crazy, but if you have a child in high school, I would highly recommend that you just start dipping your toe in the water to understand that whole educated college consumer does take a little bit of time, because there's a ton of information out there. Half of it is wrong and probably doesn't apply to you. But to disseminate that and decide what does apply versus what doesn't. And also, if you can, don't let bumper sticker envy drive the process. It's something I talk about and National talks about all the time, but it's also in my book. Too many people, in my opinion, look at ratings and rankings and 51% of college freshmen nationally do not finish where they start. So everybody's so concerned about where they're going and
Right,
putting that
right,
nice
right.
bumper
That's it,
sticker
yeah,
on,
that's
only to scrape it off
Yeah,
after the
right.
first year. And by the way, that's okay, but you could avoid that
Right.
if you really keep the right things in perspective. So take a deep breath.
See, I'll tell you the truth. I love my car too much to put a bumper sticker on it.
All right, so you're good then.
He's not doing that.
All right, I have a
No.
question because I know a lot of kids, teenagers, even when they're younger, they put a lot on Facebook, on Instagram.
Yep.
What's your advice to these kids? Because they don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I heard that they do look at
Oh,
it.
they
and
absolutely,
interview it.
especially
That's
in
right.
today's
They
world,
do.
Well,
they
I remember my
absolutely
son.
do.
Well, you see,
do
when my
viral
son.
Oh, yes.
searches.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful. My
yeah.
son, when he
Viral
turned around, he
searches.
was at Stanford, and the coach said, one of the coaches, I want you to friend me on your Snapchat, you this, you
Yeah.
this, and this, and this. And he's like, why?
Yep.
He goes, don't ask questions, just put me on there, just like that.
I
And
told-
what they
yep.
did was they monitored.
And your
and I'm
job,
sitting-
when you
yeah,
go
and I
into the
sat
Well,
That's
that's
there.
also-
also that's
Yeah,
also
They
that's
true.
it,
do
yeah.
a
That's
viral search on you,
Yep.
and
Wow.
and
That's crazy.
Yes,
He's
yes,
like, oh my gosh, I got to get on
He goes,
the
yeah.
social media.
I prepare them for this right away because they're going. So first, let's go over your social media, and let's see what you have to if you can
Well, I
clean
mean,
out or get
the other
off.
thing too is, I mean, we all remember Michael Phelps. What happened with
Right,
that? It was
right.
his best friend that
Yeah.
turned
Yeah.
him in. And so, to me, what I suggest is, I say, number one, your parents have to have access to your social media. That's what I now listen. That's crossing. That's not my place,
Right.
but I suggest that. The other thing is, I just talk to them about no solo cups. I don't care what color. I don't care what's in it. I don't nothing. None of that, and nothing that the next day you're gonna be
Right,
like,
you're gonna
"Ugh,"
regret.
You
I
know?
tell listen. I tell my kids, don't ever. I don't care if it's your boyfriend. I said, even your husband. I said, don't turn around and take pictures of yourself and send it.
Yep.
Well,
Well, also
You just
don't let
don't.
people
Do it a lot.
put
Oh,
things or post things.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to
Yeah,
prove that you
yeah.
cannot let people just randomly
Yeah.
post
That's right.
things.
A lot of
Right.
it
Because they don't
happens
even
from
have bad
other people.
intentions most
Right,
of the
right,
time.
right,
Right.
But next thing you know, it's up there and you don't even know it was up there. And yeah, so
Right.
that's been a very.
Yeah.
But also, I have to tell you again, you asked about the COVID impact, the pandemic impact, but that social media has become even more as far as following schools on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and all those kind of things. And it's really, that's how a lot of the schools now are measuring what they call demonstrated interest. And so, if anything, they started all that, but now it's probably going to be accelerated to another level. So I think you really need to be careful with that.
yeah, yeah. So now, how do people reach you? On Instagram, on your website?
Yeah, there's multiple places. I have my website is destinationcollegesuccess.com. Instagram, I'm actually the college guy, the number 4 U.
I love the college guy. I bet you get
Well,
a
it's
lot
just
of. I bet you get a lot of ladies asking you for a date.
I'm not sure about that,
See,
but
look at
it
it.
actually, I'm noticing a
It's
theme
always
with
got to
this.
end to something
today.
sexual, whatever.
No,
No,
it's
actually,
just
what happens?
life, you know?
Well,
Yeah,
but
like-
actually, what happens actually, and how that stuck is that I see a lot of my students years after, whether it be in the mall, the gym, in a restaurant, wherever, and sometimes I know this is shocking because it's not about me, it's about them. They go, wait,
What'd
the
you
cool
do?
college guy, right? I'm like, Russ.
That's
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
Russ.
yeah,
That's it,
yeah,
that's
that's
the guy.
right, that's right.
It's good
So,
for that.
I
Now,
don't think
one
they're-
last question,
Sure.
and then we're going to go on to, Barbara. I know you did something special. I saw it all over Facebook
Oh.
with your daughter.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's just
All right,
quickly,
thank
what'd you
you,
do?
thank you. So my daughter, as I said, is a high school senior, and we went through the process together. And so many people said, "Oh, just wait, Russ. Just wait till it's your daughter's turn." And they were kind of saying it in a little bit of a negative way.
Like, yeah,
And
you're going
like,
to get
oh
screwed.
my gosh, it's going to be so tough. It's going to be so difficult. Whatever. And I have to tell you, it was an amazing experience.
Good for you.
Well, not
Did you
just
get
for me.
closer
My
or did you
daugh-
fight?
Oh, absolutely. No fights at all.
Wow.
We talked about a lot of things. Now, I'm not going to say there weren't disagreements, because there were.
Right.
But my daughter is actually really, and I know every parent says this, but she's very level-headed. She's a very she's a really nice.
She's a good girl.
She's a really good girl. But the bottom line is, and that's why I posted. I wanted to celebrate her. She's going to the University of Kentucky honors program. She's
Oh, wonderful.
go Wildcats. But I also wanted to because to me that's kind of living in what I preach.
Yes,
To my
you
students.
actually
We
did
weren't
it on your
worried
own.
about, I took her to some of the, more name schools. She didn't like them. It wasn't her place. She didn't feel good there. And, she got accepted to all the schools that she applied to. She got honors in every one but one. And we got money at everyone. So it was a win-win. And to me, most important, she was able to make a decision that she wanted to, and she's excited and she's really looking forward to it. And I couldn't be happier. with her.
Congratulations.
So thank you.
Congratulations.
So now
That's my
the
greatest
fees
achievement.
that you
That's
charge
it.
are on a monthly basis.
Well, so it depends. So my concierge service, again, is a monthly basis, and you can cancel anytime. Nobody ever has, but you can.
Well, once they get involved,
Well,
they
because
like
they
what you
realize,
do.
because what people first say is like, for $65, really, what am I really getting? And like, then all of a sudden they see, because I don't hold back. I give them,
Whatever
and there's
that they
opportunity to get
need.
some one-on-one and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. And then also I do have packages that are obviously a little bit larger.
Yeah.
And still very
People
reasonable.
that need
And there's
more.
payment plans for that. Yeah,
That's
for
great. I
those-
love
those
what you
all.
do.
Thank you. Well,
I
do
don't have
too.
any.
Thank you.
I don't have to do this anymore unless
you
I
do.
decide to go back to college.
Well, we can work on that too.
yeah,
if you
but
like.
again,
Thank you.
I want to tell me how to do this. I want to get a college degree based on all the volunteering I've did for 27 years.
Oh, well,
Is
we-
that a
Life
possibility?
credits.
Well, it is.
Right.
It is.
Life
It is.
credit,
But we're gonna.
I don't know if you'll get a degree with that.
Yeah.
Sidewalk University.
But you
can.
get credits for it.
Yeah.
You can get quite a bit.
Yeah.
I
and
want an honorary degree someday. I might be 100.
That's a little
I'll get you one
different.
from G University. That's
There
it.
you go.
G's University.
I'm gonna have to get on that
That's
list
on my
too. I like
bucket
this
That's it.
place.
It's on my bucket list. That's on my bucket list.
You
believe
get
it or
3
not.
credits for
That's
tending
it.
bar.
Thanks a lot. Your pleasure. And
Thank you,
I
thank you.
love your clothes.
Look at this. She'd love you without clothes. No.
Easy.
That's what I say. Before we move on, I have to give a quick shout out. Jenny A, Jenny C, Stacy, Susan. We have John Gregory, my son. He just started he got injured, and now he's like, Dad, I got my position back. So he's really, really excited in football.
Excellent.
How are you, Steve? How you doing? Ed Shin, Julie Valles, Peter Laurie, Latour, I'm sorry.
Toy.
You know who that is. Then I have Ryan Singh says hello. Nick Attillo Jr. We have Denise Chikara, I think it is. Chikara. Hannah, Hannah, I love you. I love you, sweetheart. Saba, how you doing? Bob D'Amato. I got to tell you, Beverly Tylis,
Tell us.
she must fill up the whole entire the comment board with pictures and hearts, and you're the
got a
best.
fan
Big
club.
fan.
You're the
There you
best
go.
guy in the whole entire world. He's great with children. You're gonna have to tell us. We're gonna have to come back to you. You're gonna have to tell us about that. Yeah, I see Beverly.
Whoa,
Debbie,
she
how
must
you
be
doing?
Special.
And let me see. We have Kylie, if I'm not mistaken. In case I missed anybody, another Peter,
Got a lot of people
another
watching.
Robert. How are you, buddy? And for now, yeah, and Philip, how are you, buddy? Eliza, great job. She had her son just get accepted into 3 colleges, and he doesn't know which one he wants to pick.
Excellent.
So
Well, she can call me if she wants.
yeah, so definitely.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Marianne, she's running for town board in Levittown. So everybody from Levittown, you got to vote for Marianne Adrian. She's running for town board, and she's got to win. She's been there
course
for
she
2
is.
years. The reason why she's a Kawanian, so I have to mention that.
course,
She's a great
absolutely.
Kawanian. Kawanians are just great people just to begin with. You know what I mean?
This is true.
But and Rosemary, you came a little late there, love. A little late. You're always the first one on, but it's okay. I love you. Say hi to John. And Carmen from Hawaii, I love you, honey. I know we haven't had a chance to talk, so I'm just sending you my love. Okay, and now let's move on to young lady right here,
Barbara,
Miss Barbara.
Hi.
I've known you
Nice to
forever.
be here.
Really? So you, first of all, you work with the Freeport Memorial Library, right?
Yes, it just sort of came out of field. I was working for a consulting company, and one day one of my colleagues said, "Can you go speak to my soon-to-be sister-in-law?" And she's the assistant director at Freeport Library. And although I love libraries and books and everything, I didn't think, how would I ever work at a library? She said, "Well, the career counselor is 90 years old and retiring, and they're looking for someone." So as a friend, I went down there and talked to them, and I said, "Well, this is the way I see it, based on my experiences." And they said, "When can you start?" So I started working at night a few hours, and then it was Saturdays and this and that, and it just grew into something
Blossomed.
really huge for the community.
Which is great.
And over the years, I did the career counseling. I work with adults, but it started to really grow also with students. And I love working with young people because from my experience, as you was just said, most of us get into what we're doing through an evolutionary process. But if we can sort of like roll back time and take a deep assessment, look at the things that our aspirations, but also what are our innate skills, what are our interests, what type of environment do we thrive in, to Russ's point. So I take this sort of holistic approach. And so junior and senior students come with their parents, but then they don't need to stay if the student doesn't want to be in the same office, as long as they're outside. Because sometimes they'll open up and tell you things like a parent may want to push a student in a certain direction,
That never
and
happens.
they really, really,
They don't
they're
want it.
really struggling, or
Yeah.
or a type of school. If they went to a certain university, they want their child to go to that university. So they tend to open up with me. And one of the other things too I find is not everybody is geared for that 4-year university. Sometimes they have to take steps, so they have to do that
community
undergraduate
college.
community to see if they like that process, because everybody learns differently. One of the things that I found too is that some of these young people have great entrepreneurial ideas. And so one of the things I got to do at the library is to create a business center
That's
with
terrific.
3 other colleagues. And in this business center, not only do we help anyone start businesses or keep developing their businesses, in addition to that is we want to help young people that who have ideas to be able to develop them, like you were talking about, and for income, because you can do that while going to school. And a lot of great ideas. Look at all the wonderful ideas people may have dropped out of college, Russ, and
No,
you know.
no, I mean,
But
absolutely.
when you think about initiative and you think about motivation and excitement, you don't always get that in a conventional learning environment. And so
actually rarely
we
do, I
want to
think.
right. We want to bolster that. We want to give them a platform. So we partnered with the Small Business Center out in Farmingdale.
Yeah.
And I have somebody, well, before COVID, on site once a week by appointment, and he helps people develop their ideas, develop their aspirations,
That's
the nuts and
great.
bolts of doing this. So we have a lot of resources. We have some business librarians there. So we're the only library in Nassau County that has a complete business center from career counseling through business development. I book programs.
That's great.
So we're doing just the last, was it Wednesday night, we had how to finance your business through an organization that has these very affordable loans, stuff like that.
Okay,
So
so now do you have to live in Freeport to
No.
attend that?
There-
Oh, I have a client for you
nothing
already.
at,
Someone that called
nothing
me
at
today.
Freeport is just specific. It's for anyone.
I
I've
didn't
worked
know
with
that.
now when people come, say they live in Freeport or Lynbrook or Port Washington, and I get a lot of people from the North Shore down. Um, their relatives come in for a holiday, and they say, "Can you work?" Sure, come on in, or now on the phone. And I've had two things. I started to get involved with this in corporate life way back in the city. We had a mentorship program with the Murray Bertram Business School, and I worked with this young student. As a matter of fact, today I just got a text from her, and she wrote essays. She came from Brooklyn, wanted to go to college, and so we went through this whole essay process for a year and a half. She paid for even through these little grants and scholarships, 1,500. She was so enterprising. She paid for all of her education,
That's
had it
wonderful.
all
Nice.
financed, every penny of
Yeah,
it.
but you have to know. I mean, I know there are books
It was
that'll tell you you can
laborious.
get one for if you're part American Indian, if you're this, if you're Greek, Italian, whatever it is.
The
And
scholarships,
but that's
yeah.
a lot of work.
She
That's
worked
a lot
hard.
of work.
She worked hard, and she would come up,
Yeah.
and I would edit her her essays, and she had to do resumes and everything. But I was so proud of her.
That is
But you want to
terrific.
know what she's doing now? She got an accounting degree, worked in corporate life. As it turns out, she started her own business, marketing, helping nonprofits. She's
that's great.
always wanted to work in the non-for-profit world, and she's helping them market their ideas and get
Well,
revenues in.
There's
so
a big need for
she's
that.
a success in
Her own-
another
it's-
way.
Right.
But
yeah, but there's a big need for that. And,
yeah.
you always change. You change from one thing to the other.
In my book, I tell my students, I'm a hotel restaurant major. It helps me in the kitchen, but it has nothing to do with how I make a living.
Exactly.
But it was, but
Exactly.
it's entrepreneurship, and it's
Most
great.
students don't, and dropout rates. If you don't align, that's why I'm fascinated with what you're talking about. It's like I try to look at and ask them questions about their whole part of them, because there are tendencies even when we're knee high. My nephew was like 4 years old, and he would at school. I would see him if they were playing soccer and one of his teammates fell. He would help them, get up, and then he'd say, "Well, maybe this." He was like this. He had this coaching in him when he was real little. But he wanted to go into sports management. I just rolled my eyes like, "Oh, you're going to be selling half-price tickets somewhere,
Yep.
like all the other kids." But we sat down and we talked about it, and I said to him, so he went through the whole college thing. He got into Temple.
Mhm. Yep.
They're finishing paying that off, but he's such a success because I said to him, "Don't wait till you're a junior. You got to volunteer. You've got
Yeah,
to
that's a
show
big
up.
thing.
You
Yes.
have to go to meetings. You have to." So he was there. He was doing things free. He got on the girls' basketball team as a volunteer coach
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a sophomore. Well, Temple hired 2 people when he graduated, and one was him to be coach. And his dream was to work at Notre Dame.
Yep.
And he went there, and after 2 years at Temple, and he was one of two, and he didn't get it. He was heartbroken. I said to him, James, I said, it will happen. Just, just keep doing what you're doing. Kept developing all these game plans using technology and everything like they do in big
Yep.
sports, way over my head. But he's
That's right.
doing all
Yeah.
of that. And do you know he's now they hired him, and he's one of the coaches at Notre Dame.
See, that's like the
Being
Rudy
out.
story. It's like a Rudy
Wonderful
story.
story.
Right,
Rudy,
right,
Rudy,
Rudy,
yeah.
that's a
Right,
Rudy.
he
Yeah.
has
I
his
love that
dream
movie.
job
Yeah.
Great movie for that movie.
in Indiana,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
And
That's
that's what
wonderful.
he's doing.
Oh, that's good.
So that's the way I approach everyone at that age is like, what do you want to do with your life? When you're 30, 40, 50, and you're thinking back, what will you be most proud about? What mistakes did you make that you really learned from?
Right.
What would you do differently? What would you do the same? And that kind of thing. And it's hard sometimes when you're 18, 19, 20 to start projecting out, but if you help to draw some pictures with them, it sends it back home
Yeah.
to them.
If you follow your passion or you find your
Right.
passion,
Yeah.
you eventually find a way.
Yeah.
To make a living.
But
right.
you
You
know
do.
what?
Yep.
There's
Mhm.
also the very strategic side of it. You may have a passion to do something, but you also have to you have to almost do a cost-benefit analysis. So I do a lot of research with them on where are the jobs?
Yeah.
No, that's another
Where are the
situation.
jobs?
No.
What is the future trends? They do a lot of research on future trends of hiring.
Yep.
What parts of the country, because you have to, if you really want to do something, are you willing to go to Hawaii? Are you
Yeah.
willing to go to
I don't know anybody
Mid-Atlantic?
who wouldn't be willing.
Are
to
you
go to
willing
Hawaii.
to go?
That was a good example. I go
Well,
right now.
yeah.
I'm
But
all-
are
I'm
you
in-
willing
Carmen,
to
I'm
go
coming,
to
I'm coming,
Mid-Atlantic? Are you willing to maybe work for a government entity?
Yep.
Yep.
No,
Are
well,
you
you're right.
willing
You have to be
do that?
flexible. Very
right,
flexible.
Right, right. So you
Now,
have to
what about
look
the
at whole
50 plus? Because I know they're tough. Because that's what I do. I do a lot of 50
I
plus.
have people, I think the oldest person that I have worked with, and not because you ask age, because she was very proud. She was 82 years old.
That's
Wow.
And
wonderful.
she said,
God
I
bless. That's great.
I want to feel productive part-time, but I want to work. I want to be out there, and I want to be contributing. So I'll have 18 to 80s.
Right.
There's never a time when you don't want to redevelop, reposition yourself. And it's interesting. You would think after this COVID, like people would be searching for jobs, but it's not really what's happening
No,
right now.
not right now.
People are looking at repositioning,
Changing, right?
but the way the job market is right now, the other day there was 250,000 remote jobs open in a 25-mile radius of here. 249 and change, to almost 250,000 remote jobs for people in a 25-mile circumference of this zip code. So it's the demographics are changing rapidly, and you have to stay current.
Right.
Well, you do
And
have
you
to
have
keep,
to be,
educating yourself on everything.
yeah, that's
Sure.
what I do when in my downtime.
So you got to tell me, you work with kids.
So I worked for kids with the Scope Educational Service for 3 years, and it's like an after-school childcare program where I work with kids, help them with their homework, give them snack, make sure they're behaving, make sure they're not doing anything they're not supposed to, take care of them. And I'm also, I think, CPR certified, so God forbid if I have to do that, I'm able to perform. And yeah, it's pretty fun. Like Miss Beverly, she was one of my best coworkers I worked with.
That's right. Beverly and,
Your biggest fan.
and
Yeah.
Raphael, they're like, let's hear more from Mr.
Yeah.
Uma.
They're the
You
best.
know?
Yeah.
They're the best I worked with.
Well, if you want to turn some of your ideas in what you're doing, and
Yeah.
you can contact the library. Just ask for the career center. They make appointments, or with the business
Yeah, that-
counselor, and he's fabulous, and he looks at holistically the whole thing like that, and helps you put a strategy together to get
Gotcha.
to your goals. So that's all you have
Is
to
that
do is
similar
make
to
a
like
phone
a
call.
SBA kind of thing?
He is an
yeah.
SBA
Yeah,
person,
perfect.
but
Because
from
I actually
Farmingdale.
did that myself
Very
when I was
good.
looking into what I wanted to do after corporate America.
Yeah.
It's free, and you have
yeah.
experts on industry you can sit down with. You
Oh,
go
wow.
and prepare, but
Yes.
have questions, and I found it incredibly helpful.
And you have to
Wow.
be prepared to work through the process.
Yes.
Gotcha.
You really, because you get homework
Yeah,
for
wow.
between meetings, because you want to be successful. You want to launch something successfully and grow with it. But yeah, it's all free.
So now, I feel that I'm pretty educated on Long Island, but are other libraries that way, like Freeport, where anybody could come?
Well, there are a few career counselors in that work a few hours in a couple of other
Because I didn't know
libraries,
about that.
but they don't have a full center that we have.
Right, that's terrific. I'm
It's
gonna,
called BRIC. It's the acronym for Business Resource Information Center. That's for the entrepreneurial business side, and the career center is, what I do. And then I also book. We have programs, speakers. Right now, everything is virtual,
Yeah.
but usually they're on site,
Right.
and either to help business owners or
Yeah.
career stuff. And
That's
yeah, it's
terrific.
good. And we have a huge library just of resources just for business people. The whole and
That's terrific.
if you have a business and you're working out of your home and you need a great conference room with state-of-the-art equipment, you can use it for free. It's by appointment, but you can't be selling anything there. It's
Right.
not
Can't
sales.
give
But
out
say you want
cards,
to
right.
interview or you want to talk to somebody about
That's
something.
great
or
to know.
So when we're back on site again,
Yeah.
you can do that. You
Right.
can do
So how
that.
do people reach you? What is it through the
It's-
library or
You
is it
just
private?
call the library at 516-379-3274 and just ask for the career center, and they will make appointments for me for career, or if you call, you just say you want to make an appointment for the business counselor.
Very interesting. Really.
So,
that
and it's
one
all
part I didn't
free, and
realize.
we don't turn anyone away. We're there for you.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you find people or feel like they have to have everything nip and tucked, like dot the i's, cross the t? Like just some people don't want to do it because they don't know what to ask. They don't know. Like I always tell people, like, even with the SBA thing, I had a bunch of questions, but just go. You're
Yeah.
always learning from it,
yeah.
and
That's
then
very
you know
true.
how to prepare
Yeah.
for the next time.
And there's no limit, because when you're going on the business side, we have people there that are working through their business. They've launched them and they're still going for counseling. So there's no limit. And what I do, I would say on average with people, maybe 3 sessions average. Sometimes they just want to update a resume. Sometimes they're negotiating a deal.
Right.
How to negotiate
Wow.
your offer, because when you get an offer, it doesn't mean you just take it.
Yeah, you gotta look at the
You
plus
know,
and
there's
minuses.
a thing, right, and there's more than salary you're going to look at.
Right, get that
It's a
signing bonus.
whole
I mean,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
If you don't get it in salary or time, yes, there are other things to negotiate.
it's like the
So I
salary
do
cap.
all of that,
Mhm.
all of that. Prepare for interviews or anything. So yeah, that's all you have to do is
It's
call.
a great value for
Sounds like a
everybody.
great resource. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and like Russ said, you get excited about going to work and doing this, and there's a passion about it, just like innate.
Definitely. Well, one of my things with my book is it's about losing your job. There's 79 people in my
Oh,
book
it's a
that
gift
lost their
sometimes.
jobs.
Yeah.
But it's a gift. But again, I always tell everybody every day when you're looking for a job, a business, whatever, get up, get dressed, show up.
There you
Yep.
go.
That's our words for the
Wow.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely.
yeah. So this was very interesting to be listening to you guys, and you are quite the individual,
That's right.
doing a lot
I'm gonna
of
put him
great
in my back
things.
pocket. We're gonna leave.
There you go.
Greg's
We're going
gonna
to club
pick
to
you
club.
up,
You kidding me?
and you have the
You kidding
ladies
me?
after
I'm telling you, he's a chick magnet.
Unbelievable! I like that name
Yeah.
you gave him.
But now we have to
You
help
can use that
make
if you
money,
want.
So you can
Yeah.
use that.
right? We have to
Yes.
help you make a big
Kind of.
success out of it.
Chick magnet.
I
that's
think
very good.
I have a couple ideas for you. We'll talk after this.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
well,
You got you got an
Nice.
agent right here.
See that?
Yeah.
You already
Got
have
an
somebody that's interested.
Yeah.
So now, today's moms, like, should they be calling the guidance counselors to say, where are those scholarships? When do
No,
we get them?
I don't agree. I don't agree
No,
with that.
because the kids don't go
Okay.
into the office.
Okay, wait a
sometimes.
second. Wait a second. Now you're putting excess pressure on a guidance guy. He's to guide you, but you know
I
what?
know.
It's like taking a horse
The kids have
to the
go
water,
in
but you
there,
can't
right?
force the horse to drink the water.
You're
So what
right.
do you? So
Guidance counselors
you
on
know.
average have 250 to
That's what I'm
300
yeah.
saying,
kids.
So
yeah.
you're gonna. So
So
think about
they're
200
not-
That's
parents.
actually low. The national average is
Y-
about
it could be
460.
Is
higher.
it?
Yeah.
So just think about it. 460 people right now. You just told to go bang on a door.
So
bring
the
his
kids
phone.
have to do their own
So you should know that. The kid should clean his own room, not
I know,
you.
but I always,
You know,
on.
most kids, even in college, don't use their career centers.
Or their academic advisors.
Because I'm
even,
on the
yeah.
in the one of the I work with the board at New York Institute of Technology, and
went there.
and so did I. I got my master's
Oh,
there.
there we go.
So you know, they struggle to get the students to use their career center.
Right.
It's, you know, because they're so focused on the other parts of school. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's a struggle.
well, you're all going to get a book today because you're all you'll be interested in this because it's all about work and
That's
everything
right.
else.
It's all about her.
No, it's not. It's about, it's
So you're
about
gonna love it.
79 Long Islanders. There's 79 stories in here.
Did you
Real,
sign it?
79.
Not yet, no.
Oh, okay, good.
And this is for you because this is all for children, the children's department, about masks.
Oh, great.
And these are all people that lost their jobs and changed their life that are writing books with us right now. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
and this is about community service. So I gave you a sample of 3 for the library, and I also will give both of you a book today
Oh, thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
we'll
you.
have them in the
There you
library.
go. That's my little-
Absolutely.
Peace.
Well,
that's
guys, I
for
want to
you.
say thank you, thank you, thank you
Yeah,
That's
thanks
for
for
being
having
on
me.
the show.
It's very
Thank
inspiring, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
definitely,
So
definitely.
now, do you guys help people write their books, or we're like,
Yes, we have a class
Yeah.
once a month here at G's.
gotcha?
That's it.
Tuesday nights,
So
once
you're
a
gonna
month.
write your book.
I never knew
Hopefully I
about
was
G's,
thinking
but
about it.
now
I'll
it
think
seems
about
to
it.
be
You
a
could
happening
be
Let me
place.
tell you
Right.
something. On
Come
weekends,
Center of the
Jersey.
universe.
let me tell you something.
Right.
On weekends, tell them about weekends.
Yeah, it's this weekend we're gonna have Mystic, which is tomorrow,
Great
and
band.
then we have Five Stone on Saturday. They're great bands, and like I said, you have to make reservations. You have to go on G's, and everybody also after watching this, please share this, you know, with all your friends on Facebook and everything like that. I meant to say that earlier. I apologize, but we're gonna have again Mystic. They're great. It's gonna be a buffet kind of thing. You know, they serve you, and the music is outrageous. The singers are great. Five
It's
Stone,
really
I
a
just
great
love.
place.
Yeah, so you really,
A lot
really
of
have a
fun
lot of
here.
fun. Everybody, I mean, it's definitely socially distanced and stuff
Yes.
like that. You know,
Very
we walk around
strict.
and suffocate you if you breathe. You know, without your mask, we just grab you by your face.
When are you
and-
going to be opening outside again?
I'm
You're going
sorry.
to wait till May? to
Outside, no,
open?
I'm just waiting for the weather just to get a little.
Warm.
You know, I would definitely love to do it right now if I could, but it's just getting too chilly.
Yeah,
in
it
the
could
evening
be
time, and then have to put and the
30
heater.
in the-
Yeah, the heater lamps are the heater
Yeah.
things. They won't really work when it's that cold.
Well, I'll
You know,
walk
you gotta be
over,
right under-
and
so-
then I can
and
have a
you're
few
right around the
drinks.
corner. You're
You're
right around
really
the corner.
I don't have to
close.
drive.
You know, that's it. You don't have to
Thank
drive.
you.
So, but yeah, everybody's also thanking everybody for
Chill
being
the
out here.
Merlot.
See, right? That's it. We got plenty of that. Plenty of that.
So we have to ask the nose a question about Ori. The nose knows on this show.
Okay,
The
don't touch my
nose
nose.
Yes, the nose
This
knows.
is the nose. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, what's
So
that?
what do we want to know about Ori?
Are you gonna be the next politician?
Hopefully.
There you go.
Why
Why
not?
not?
See
Yeah.
that?
That's it. It knows. It knows.
See that?
But guys, I really want to thank you. I want to thank our sponsors, Tranquility Spa, for your massage needs. They have a beautiful cave, salt cave, where you go and you
Yes.
relax,
Oh, Franklin
inhale.
Square.
You know,
Yeah, I'll be sending you all a ticket on your text. You take it to the spa,
Great.
and you pay 1/3 the price for the.
That's right.
And the salt cave is free.
Nice.
Oh,
And on
nice.
top of that, Oral Puro for all your jewelry needs. Teddy and Christina,
Oh,
we love you.
yes. Oh,
You know
yes.
Teddy. Who doesn't know Teddy?
Everybody, knows Teddy.
And
Yeah.
we
have a
also
ring
Jackson
for
Hewitt
Terry.
Taxes. He's right there on 978 Hempstead Turnpike. You have to see Prince. The guy, he's an amazing guy. I thank him for everything that he does. And you guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
Great
Thanks
to
for
be
having
here.
us.
Thanks for
I
having
hope
us.
you-
Yeah,
we
we
really
appreciate it,
enjoyed
guys.
having you.
Yeah.
Very educational.
So
Come
and,
back
and
again.
if anybody didn't get anything, you can just go on our page, Long Island Breakfast Club Show, and you can contact them through us, through them on your own. And it was great. Look, Beverly, I don't know how many emojis you sent me at Beverly. I swear to you.
This
Really,
woman
like, this
loves
one is
you.
like, forget it.
This
Is
is
this
a
your future wife?
Casanova.
No, this is my former coworker.
Okay,
Former
future
coworker.
wife.
No.
She looks like
Anyway,
a Casanova.
thank you so much, and
Thank
it's
you.
a
It's a wrap.